Running a Fever, episode 29. Injury report. I'm in the studio today. I am giving you another update, kind of like I did in episode 27. And although for you, it may have been only a few days if you're a regular listener, it may be only a minute if you're binge listening. But for me, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks since I did a podcast, and it's been 3 weeks since I worked out. And the reason, if you've been listening, you know, is that I injured myself. And I can sort of give you a rundown on how that happened. Basically, I was running, and I just felt, probably was overuse, I think. And I think the doctor confirmed that today. I gave it a day off, and then, I came after the first time I felt it. I came back and I did another regular walk, and I could not do the run. Felt sharp pain as soon as I started it. I took a day off, and I guess I didn't realize how serious the injury was. I took a day off, and I came back the following day. It was a Saturday, and walked for a mile. And that was, it was okay. I felt that I was having problems, and it's kind of depressing. Although I was just listening to the podcast. I tried to look on the bright side and understand that I'm blessed. I'm blessed, and I should be grateful for the capability that I have to move around and the mobility that I have. After that walk, I came back, and I had been, it was a Saturday, and I'd been painting a room, and I really wanted to get the room done. And I went back and I painted a wall in that room, which probably wasn't a good idea either, because that no doubt exacerbated and complicated the injury that I had, because I was climbing on a ladder and doing all sorts of moving around that I shouldn't be doing. So the next day I felt it big time. I mean, the next day was a Sunday, and I could tell I had some serious trouble. And I gave it a couple more days, and then I went to the doctor on Tuesday, and the doctor ordered, this is my general practitioner, primary care physician. He checked it out and asked me some questions, and basically told me definitely not run, walk at my discretion. And he had me take an x-ray, and then I guess he was going to look at the x-ray and see what to do after that. A few days later, I heard back, and I stopped exercising completely. I'd heard back, and the doctor had ordered an MRI, either the primary care or the orthopedic surgeon. So I took the MRI, and this was right around Christmas. It was like the Tuesday after Christmas. I remember because my parents were here. My dad went with me to get the MRI. Almost nobody there at the medical center. Did that, and had been kind of waiting, and then I got a call a couple of days ago, and just I guess it was a few days ago. This is Tuesday. Basically said, come in and to orthopedics, and we're going to have another x-ray, and then you're going to see the doctor. That was today. So I went in and had a new x-ray done, and I went to see Dr. Tang, the orthopedic, I guess you call him an orthopedic surgeon. I don't know. But it was kind of a part of the medical center. It was a VA medical center, and it was a kind of a surgical area, but orthopedics is his specialty. So he showed me the x-ray, asked me some questions, examined my knee, and showed me the x-ray, and we went over the MRI results. I took a picture of the monitor with my phone, so I will post that picture with this podcast, so you'll be able to see that. I said it looked fine. There was no fracture or anything. What the MRI found was that there was some swelling internal to the bone. So I guess inside, you have the marrow and everything. There was some swelling inside, and that's what you can find with an MRI. X-ray just shows you the bones. It's good. I mean, it means nothing is broken, and everything's just gonna heal up pretty well. He looked at the x-ray and he said, you could interpret this different ways, and there might have been some thickening here, and that's what's supposed to happen after a fracture. There was no fracture, but to see that showed some stress, that the bone was adding calcium and thickening. The swelling was internal. Basically, he gave me a clean bill of health. And he said, you're okay to walk. He said if it had been a regular fracture, then, he would recommend, basically staying off it for about 3 months. I guess staying off it is probably not meaning that you shouldn't walk, but definitely not running. And he recommended that I not run for at least 2 months from the time of the injury, which was around the 14th, a little over 3 weeks ago. So I've got another 5 weeks before I can even think about running, and I may not be running at that point. I think I will take it very slowly and carefully. And, I said, definitely when you feel something, scale back, go back and slow down. Don't, this isn't the kind of pain that you need to want to work through. That's good advice. And I was real excited after seeing the doctor, and I wanted to kind of just go out and work out today. But I've been getting better all along. That's the good part of the story. First week or so was not good. They gave me a brace when I went to see the primary care physician, and that helped a lot. But I was still hobbling pretty good through Christmas. But the last week or so has been very good. I've got basically, the last week has been really good, and I've just been getting better. And now I think my limp is probably barely noticeable. I still do limp just a little bit. And that's why I didn't go out today, because I want to be pretty much completely pain-free when I go out there. Right now, it's not really painful. It's the kind of thing where you just know something's wrong. It doesn't really hurt. It's just, something's wrong. And I also know that the knee is not as stable as it usually is. So there needs to be some work on that, and I need to just be very careful. Not having any trouble at all walking around. I still do the ice in the morning. I don't do it a lot, maybe not in the evening, but I'd still do the ice in the morning. I don't use the brace anymore. I'm not really taking Advil anymore. After first going to the doctor, he said, don't take any more than 12 Advil a day. And I'm like, well, I'd like to take about 20. But now don't even really need that. So it's good news. It's a little longer than I want to be out, but great news in that I don't need surgery. It's not going to keep me from running in the future. That's all good news. All good news. So other health issues, I'm going to keep posting my weight and all that stuff. If I can get a couple of interviews in, I will. Like I said, this is coming out now twice a week, starting in February. Of course, I'm recording this in January, and I hope to get back to recording 3 times a week. But if I can get a couple of interviews in, hopefully there will be no disruption in the publishing schedule, so that you'll continue to have episodes twice a week. And I don't think I'll be increasing that anytime soon, at least until I get back up to a more regular workout schedule, which hopefully will be in the next week or so, that I will at least go out for a very short walk, probably the same as I did the first time I went out. Probably go for half a mile, and that's it. And then give myself, at least a couple of days to recover, and then try again and see how things feel. But I don't want to have any sort of pain or discomfort, and I want to be sure that I'm ready to go. So if I have to wait a couple of months to run, if I have to wait a couple of weeks to walk, that's fine. Again, I'm learning in this process, and that's why I call it a journey, because I'm learning, and I know that things like this happen, and I have to just kind of learn from my mistakes, go back and do things differently. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. But I'm still dedicated to doing this. I definitely have been really wanting to work out, really missing it. I am I'm going to go on a serious diet because it's kind of motivated by this contest we have at work that they've been doing every year, which is basically, they call it a Biggest Loser, like the TV show. So it's 12 weeks and you weigh in every week, and whoever loses the most in percentage of their body weight wins. And you each put in some money, and then should be 3, first, second, third prize for that. So there's a good chance I'm going to be the heaviest guy there. So I think I have a good chance of placing in the top 3. But there's one guy who's known for really doing well in this. So we'll see how it goes. And as a result, because the first weigh-in isn't until this week, I'm ashamed to say, but I have to confess that, yes, I have been kind of letting things go the last week or so. Kind of the good thing about that is I don't really enjoy overeating. I don't like eating a lot of sweets anymore. I don't like it, So when I do it, it's like, this is not really that pleasant. So I don't think I'll have a problem. And maybe part of that is because of the exercise routine I've gotten into. I don't really know. But anyway, hopefully this has been informative and can kind of tide you over until we start doing some actual work again. If I have another update, then I may have another short episode before we start really getting to workouts. And there are a couple people that I would like to interview, and I hope to do that. So maybe I can do that in the next week or so. The other thing is that tonight I'm meeting with Tom Rohr, who is the head honcho of the Padua Podcast Network, of which I am a member, of which my show is part of, along with 3 other shows. There's 4 shows on the Padua Podcast Network, and should be able to find out about that by going to PaduaMedia.com. It's not launching until the 1st of February, though. As of now, we don't really have a podcast part of the website. By the time you listen to this, definitely we should have something up there. And until then, you can always go to runningafever.com, and you can send me any comments, any kind of questions you have to mail@runningafever.com. So good news today, positive outlook for the future. So until next time, keep the fever. This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.